following thoughts, opinions, stories, and expressions are meant for those who will appreciate them. If you don't, we hope you keep an open soul to encounter another here on 34 Questions. Peace. In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34, and tonight we have a very special guest. Tracy Cruz is in the building. How you doing, Tracy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Want to thank you for stopping by the show, being open to share your story. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope we have a good time. For the folks out there, for the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do some intro questions, some warm-up questions just to set the tone, and then afterwards we'll turn to the main interview where you will be choosing numbers between 1 and 34, and then after that we'll finish it off with a few closeout questions. Sound good to you, Tracy?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, my very first question for you is, how have you been? It's been a crazy couple years. You've been doing well. You've been doing great. How you been lately?
I'm good. I'm trying to just adjust with everything still. I usually teach in person, and I'm teaching online. Pretty much my whole entire clientele is, they're taking virtual classes. So that has been a huge adjustment because I used to travel to students' homes. They used to take lessons at my place. I used to teach at a studio. And so there was a lot of traveling and a lot of in-person interaction, and now it's just virtual. So that's a huge adjustment. And I'm just really happy to be back, performing live. It was a long time coming, but I've been doing a lot of shows, a couple times a month. So that has been really enriching, and I'm just really glad to be able to perform in front of a live crowd.
For sure. You mentioned teaching. Do you mind me asking what do you teach?
Yeah, I teach singing, songwriting, performance classes, and I've been teaching collectively for 15 years. So it's been a really long time.
I gotcha. And my first dream was to be a rapper, and I had done it a long time, but I never figured out how to promote myself. I know in hip hop, or maybe in music in general, you kind of have to be able to promote yourself or be able to say, yo, I'm the best, this is why you should listen to my stuff. And I never gave off that energy. I was more like, you could listen to it if you want to, I'm just making this kind of music, so
that's a good attitude to have.
Yeah, I mean my whole goal was to do some projects where when I'm older I can listen to them and feel good about them. And once I reached that goal, I kind of lost the juice of like, well, maybe I don't really want to be, under a label or anything. I want to do everything independently, I'm gonna ask you for a freebie here, but what's the, one thing you like to tell people as far as if they need help with performing? Like when I'm on stage, what's something I could try to keep in mind when I'm up there?
That's a really good question. I would say, be yourself and connect with your crowd. You create the energy, not the other way around. Sometimes we think that we wait for the audience to applaud or say something or scream and, dance and sing along, but we create the atmosphere for them. Even before we, sing a word, even say some lyrics, we have to create that energy. So when you go up there, smile at the crowd, say hi, be yourself, because you're inviting these people into your world, like your stage, your home, right? So be yourself. So sometimes I like to say things that are, silly, or I ask questions, or I talk to my musicians and interact with them, and then we crack a joke, everybody laughs. It's good when you break the ice with your audience, because the more you are comfortable on the stage, the more your audience is comfortable with you. So that is my biggest advice.
And that's probably was my biggest downfall, because I'd be up there shaking with the mic and trying to spit the.
I've been there before. Yeah. Many times. I get nervous depending on the event and how many people there are. If people bought tickets and things like that. It's a normal feeling to be nervous, because you care about your art, you care about the audience, you want to have a great performance, and so you put yourself, under this microscope to give 110%. And so it's normal to feel nervous, but you want to turn those nerves into excitement. Like, yes, I get an opportunity to connect with people and share my story, share my music. Let's have fun. Let's have a good time. It's really how you create that energy. Creating energy is so important.
Do you still get nervous nowadays, or are you pretty much?
Yeah. When it's at a big venue, when it's at a big festival, if I'm opening up for an artist, if I know there's going to be a huge crowd. Oh yeah, of course, because I want to make sure that I connect with my audience, and at the same time have a good time and not mess up. So I do get nervous here and there, depending on, like I said, the venue, how many people, what kind of event it is. It definitely varies.
I feel you. Well, let's move on to some warm-up questions. My next question for you is, what would you like the audience to know about yourself? Know about you. Sorry about that. But yeah, what would you like the audience to know about you?
That I'm really just trying to share my love for music, and really building community, through art. And I just feel like when you connect with other people, you're already sharing who you are, even if you're just singing lyrics, like you wrote that from personal experiences, from your own inner thoughts, feelings. It's very personal. So you're being very, very vulnerable to your audience. And I just want people to know that I love honest music, and I like to create honest music. And I want people to be able to listen to that and listen to it and say, wow, I really feel that way. Or I felt that way, or I've experienced that. It's something that I can relate to. I can't speak from, emotions and thoughts and experiences that I've never, endured or gone through. Like, I have to speak from my heart. So, I want my audience to know that I'm speaking from my heart.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned your love of music. I gotta ask, where did that begin? How did it begin?
Yeah, so my love for music started at a very early age. My mom said I started singing at the age of 2, and I'm like, wow, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's, I don't remember. I remember the age of 5 when I would sing in front of my grandfathers, and then also to my family members and strangers. I would just sing like the same song, or maybe like a Tagalog song, like a children's song. And, they were really encouraging. They said, keep singing. Here's some money. Here you go. My grandparents were really cool. And my mother and my grandmother, they were both singers and performers. And so I just, I saw photos of them. I saw them singing it around the house, and it just made me really happy. And I wanted to experience that for myself, and I wanted to follow the footsteps of my mom and my grandma, because they were very active, in singing. And I thought that was so inspirational. And I really love how they were just so into music, my whole family. And I wanted that, that experience for me as well.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from your family, what would you say, or who would you say have been your biggest influences?
My biggest influences would probably be, goodness, that's a long list. But if I had to just really think about it, like it's a few people. Oh, that's so many. But
just first one to come to mind. Yeah, you don't.
Oh yeah, like as a songwriter or as a vocalist.
Ooh,
because there's so many. There's so many people that have inspired me, and I'm just like, whoa. It's hard to like narrow down, but
let's go with songwriter.
Diane Warren, like hands down. When I was growing up, I would, read the lyrics of songs that she wrote, and I was so intrigued, like how clever she just wrote about her feelings and just different scenarios and just the melody she created. And I mean, she wrote many hit songs, like until this very day. Like, she's still winning awards, and she's still creating timeless music. And to be a powerful songwriter, you have to be able to move people like from around the world, no matter how old they are and how young they are, whatever country they're part of, like be able to move people with lyrics and music, like that is very, very powerful. So I really love Diane Warren's songwriting skills. She is just such a brilliant songwriter. Like anybody can relate to her music and people can sing to her music, and her music is played in different special events like weddings and birthdays and movies, and just the list goes on. And she's so brilliant. I actually got to meet her too at an award show, and I was so speechless, and she was so nice about it. I went up to her and I was like, can I take a photo with you? And I was so like, oh my God, I wanted to like, just like, I couldn't even, I didn't even know what to say. And she's like, I love your earrings. Cause I was wearing earrings like this. I'm like, thank you so much. And then she was like, yeah, okay. And so we took the photo, and I'm like, I just absolutely love your music. I don't even know what I said, but I know I probably said like, I absolutely love your music. You're an inspiration to me. So I was like, wow, I got to meet one of the people I've been looking up to since I was in grade school. So that was definitely a blessing.
That's what's up. That's dope.
Yeah. and it was so cool because the way we crossed paths, like I was entering into the venue and she was just like standing there. I'm like, oh, I gotta go say hi to her. Like this was like the second time that I saw her at this award show, and at the first time she was far away and I couldn't like reach her to say hi, but now I'm like, okay, she's here. I really need to say hi to her. This is my chance. I gotta go say hi to her.
For sure. I mean, I've had that same situation kind of pop up, and I was too scared to approach the singer. And it's been one of my biggest regrets to not like to say, try to say anything. They were standing by themselves, and I was like, I can't do it. But yeah, that's great. You mentioned connecting with people.
Yes. Yeah.
What song of yours would you say connects with most people that you've gotten feedback from and kind of?
Wow. I would say Struggle, Reprise. It's a tie between Struggle, Reprise, and Your Love's Everything. Well, and Keep Her Soul Alive. There's a couple of songs, but I've gotten the most feedback from those songs. Struggle, because it talks about like going through struggles, overcoming them, and coming out as a stronger, wiser person. The Keep Our Soul Alive is talking about just following your dreams and making sure that we do things that give us peace and give us joy, and also, push through any resistance to just make it through. And Your Love's Everything is just a very positive love song, very uplifting. So I feel like people can relate to those songs.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next warm-up question. If I were to do something in your honor, a way to express the energy you possess, what could I do?
I would say write a song about leaving your legacy. I think that would be the most meaningful, because I've always loved creating songs, and I want to have a song that showcases, not only my love for music, but just love for people, love for kindness, love for compassion, love for unity, love for peace. Like I would want a song.
I gotcha. I think, and that's something that's within my realm. I think I can do that. So now we know for all the folks out there. And then my last warm-up question for you is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
Ooh, goodness. Honestly, I would say between the 7.5 to 8, because I'm still learning a lot about myself. I know, I don't think we can fully know ourselves, fully. Like, there's always something about ourselves that we're always going to learn, whether that's something that is our strength, whether that is something we need to improve, or something that we haven't discovered before. So I feel like, it's like we're constantly evolving, right? So I feel like I don't think I'll ever be a 10, because I'm always learning and I'm always growing or wanting to grow. So yeah, I would say right now 7.5 to 8, but I would like it to be a 9.5.
No, I got you. One of my other guests who've come on they told me I don't think we'll ever be 10s because a part of that is also like knowing how other people perceive us, and that's always like it's different, right? Like from what we see in ourselves and how other people see us.
And even how we see ourselves physically, like how we see ourselves physically may not be how another person sees us. Like, it's really deep. It's like this person can say, oh, you look like this someone, right? Like you look like that person, but then you're like, oh, I don't look like that person. So everybody has different perception physically, and also just, internally. People can look at us and communicate with us in a way where it's like everybody has a different opinion or different perception. So yeah, I definitely agree, with your guess that we can never be 10s because everybody's perception is probably different from our own perception of ourselves.
For sure. I mean, just in the physical sense for me, like I grew up a chubby kid, and I can't unsee that, like no matter how people tell me like, oh yeah, why are you doing this, or like why are you working so hard, and I'm like, well, it's because I feel like there's something I can improve on, and then people are like, and I'm like, damn, you don't see what I see in the mirror, right? And that's a whole nother thing. I think it's called body dysmorphia or something like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and I work with the youth, and so like I had this kid come up to me and just constantly asking me like, oh, do my arms look bigger, or oh, can you tell that like I cut weight this weekend? And I'm like, damn, like, and I was trying to tell him like, I was trying to introduce this concept to him, like, no matter what you see in the mirror, it's not always going to be what other people see. And I hope he took it to heart. We'll see. Yeah. It's one of those things.
Sure. Wow, that's really interesting.
So my last follow-up question is, what would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
So I'm very friendly. I can talk to anybody and become friends with anybody, and I really love to talk to people and know more about what they're passionate about, what their dreams are. I think it's because of the teacher in me. Being able to mentor students, young and old, has been such a tremendous blessing, because I'm able to really just guide people and build their self-esteem, and also help build their goals. And so I would say, yeah, I'm a very friendly person. Like I'm very approachable. If someone says hi to me, I'll say hi back, and I'll strike up a conversation. And even if you're shy, I'll probably get you to open up and talk about silly things. So I would say, yeah, I'm very very social, very friendly.
I mean, I think those are great skills to start a podcast if you're ever interested.
People have asked me over the years to do a podcast. I was like, that's cool. I'll definitely think about it. And when my crazy schedule calms down.
That's too. I mean, you could start it whenever. Like if that's part of who you are, you could do it now. You could do it 10 years from now. It's whenever you feel like it's right for your life at the time.
For sure.
What would you say is like the biggest challenge for you when you mentor people or you coach people up?
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge is making sure I am honest, but I'm also very sensitive, because, as a teacher, what you say can make or break an aspiring singer, aspiring songwriter, aspiring performer, music creator, producer. Like what you say, a musician, like what you say can make or break a person, so I have to be very careful in how I approach my students. Every student has a different personality, and so I have to make sure that I communicate with them clearly as to what they need to improve on, but at the same time it's constructive, it's not destructive. So I'm very careful with how I approach my students, especially when I know they're very sensitive. I don't want to be the type of music teacher that like made like a bunch of my students cry and then crush their dreams. Like I would never want to do that. I want to be able to be the teacher that inspired someone to go for it, even though they were a little scared or insecure. They still tried. They still made an effort to just go for it. So I would say that is one of the biggest challenges as a teacher, is being very encouraging, but at the same time being very honest as to what they need to improve on. Because sometimes, you have to say, that's, a little under, I don't say you're off key. I say you're under the note or above the note, sharp, making it more of a smooth approach versus like a harsh approach.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a teacher that discourages you. Like that's not what you should do as a teacher, as a mentor, is to be a discouraging person.
I hear you. My favorite my favorite line when I have kids ask me about their songs, like, oh, what do you think of my song? And my thing is always like, oh, that's a good start. But you got to keep working on it, especially with songwriting. And like,
oh yeah,
I don't know for you, but for me, when I was writing, I felt like I'd write a song one week and the next week I think it's the worst song, and then my next song is going to be the best song I ever written before. It's always
I feel like that with some of my songs. That's why they don't get released.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And my problem was I was releasing those songs anyway because I was like, oh, it's all about content, it's all about getting it out there. And I mean, for better or for worse, I think there's some people, if that was their first impression of me, then it's like, maybe this guy's in. Then there's other songs where I'm like, damn, maybe, I mean, now that I'm saying it, maybe I should re-release things into like a better package and be like, yeah, this is more of a complete project. But thank you for that realization.
Yeah, of course. All good.
All right, well, we made it to the main portion of the interview where you begin to choose your own numbers between 1 and 34. Which way would you like to go?
Ooh, it's up to you.
All right. Well, let me take a look at the numbers that you had chosen real quick, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna just start with the medium, but we'll go up and down.
That's good.
All right, so medium number 1. What impression do you want people to have of you?
That I'm like a very genuine person. What you see is what you get. My mom's like that. My mom's a very genuine person, and people feel really comfortable with her, like talking to her and joking around with her and eating with her, things like that. Like my mom is like really cool. And so I would want people to feel like, oh wow, Tracy, she's a very genuine person, and she is someone that I can just talk to and be myself, around, and not have to like front or anything. Like just she keeps it real. She's a genuine person.
I gotcha. As far as in your life experience, what percentage wise would you say people are being genuine versus not genuine?
Ooh, that's a really complex question. I guess it really just depends. I feel like, I don't know. That's a really, really complex question. Like I feel like you have to kind of really dig deeper and get to know people, over time to really figure out what they're about. Like some people, they just automatically show it. And then sometimes for other people, it takes them a while to warm up to you. So I would say like it would just vary, it definitely varies because, how real are we? How are we the same person as we are behind closed doors? Do we present ourselves to the world? How we are, when we teach, or how we talk to our kids, or how we talk to our parents, how we talk to our significant other, how we talk to our bandmates, our coworkers, etc. Is it consistent? I feel like if you're consistently acting the same with everybody that you're associated with, whether that's family, friends, business partners, coworkers, and so forth, then you are very real because you're not changing. The way I'm talking to you, if I talk to you a certain way, but then I turn around, I'm like a totally different person. It's like, like, which was the real Tracy, So I feel like if you're a consistent person towards everyone, then you're a genuine person. You're very real.
I gotcha. I mean, that's something I'm kind of concerned about myself, because I think I'm a nice person, or I want to be a nice person, and people perceive me in that way. And sometimes I'm afraid that people like if they don't know me and they haven't been around me for too long, they can perceive that as fake, you know, and I'm like being fake nice and stuff. But I will say that, you know, you mentioned like getting to know someone or being around them enough to realize that's just who they are. I think that's what makes me feel comfortable, is like, well, I have the support or like the confidence that the people who do know me can vouch for that, like, no, that's really how he is, you know. But yeah, I'm always kind of like aware of that when meeting new people, because I understand, you know, if somebody was trying to like approach people like I do, or trying to have deep conversations with people right off the bat, it might feel like there's an agenda or like something that I'm trying to do. But honestly, that's just who I am, and
That's
you know
who you are. And like you can tell when someone is just, you know, wanting to strike up a really you know, engaging conversation versus someone trying to converse with you because they want something from you. It's the approach. It's the approach. Like, I feel like, you know, when someone says, "Hey, how are you doing?" That's really that's cool. Like, that's like, you know, a show of concern, a show of care. Like, okay, this person wants to know how you're doing. But if a person says like, "Hey, so how can I get on that show with you?"
Yeah.
How can I get on that track with you? Hey, how did you do this and how did you do that? But don't even, you know, take the time to get to know you or build with you. Like, hey, you know, how are you doing? Like, you know, what have you been up to? You know, things like that. Like, I feel like that could be like a hidden agenda.
Honestly, that's something that I'm also aware of when I reach out to people for this podcast, you know. Like, I'm sure there's people out there who see my message and they're like, oh, this guy just wants me on a show and all that stuff. And you know, I don't want to focus on trying to convince them that, oh no, you know, this is genuine, this isn't, you know, anything. For me, it's like I gotta kind of prove it through my actions, you know. Having all ranges of people on the show, I think, can show that people that, hey, this guy's really just more about talking to everyone. I hope that's what people see. But
no, it's definitely what I saw, you know, when I read your intro and, you know, your messages on your questionnaire, you know, your introduction, your questionnaire. Like, I'm like, oh wow, this, you know, he really wants to get to know his guests, and he really took the time to craft these questions, because these questions, like I said, are, you know, really interesting. They're very different from, you know, your usual interview, and I really appreciate that. So, you know, it definitely is the approach, and people can see the authenticity in that.
I'm glad you saw it. Real recognized real, you know.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is legit. I'm like, he took the time to craft all of these questions, and I'm like, these are questions that I haven't asked myself in a long time, or I've never asked myself, and for you to come up with such, you know, great questions that like really like thought provoking, like you really have to think about it. I was like, wow, he really took the time to do this. This is really awesome.
Yeah, you know, these are questions that I always wish I could ask people at a party or like at the club or something.
So cool.
And
This is really cool.
I haven't gotten that reaction from a lot of people. A lot of people give me like, "What the hell? Like, who are you?" Like, yeah. So I had to create this platform for people to kind of know, like, if you're gonna get on here, this is what I'm gonna be asking.
It's so cool, yeah.
The second part to the impression question was ask what impression you want people to have of you, but what do you think they see, like, from your perspective?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I think people see me as someone that is really silly, like loves to laugh, and social person, friendly person, and very sensitive. The people that know me, for me, they know I'm extra sensitive, and so I feel like that is something I see in myself, but I feel like people see that too. Like, I'm a very sensitive person.
I got you. And it makes me wonder if people see that in me too, because I think, like, I think I'm an empathetic person, and I don't know if that necessarily makes me sensitive, but I can definitely, like, if I see it in your eyes that you're, you know, struggling or in pain, I'm like, I feel it too, you know, and I guess
Yeah,
that,
same
that
here.
makes me
Same here.
sensitive.
Oh, yeah, same here.
I got you. I got you. Well, let's move on to the next number. I'll go easy for you this time. Uh, but number 24, easy, is what is one thing on your bucket list?
Ah! Honestly, my ultimate bucket list: be nominated for a Grammy or win a Grammy award. That is on my bucket list. It has been on my bucket list since I was a kid. You know, and you know, if you know, like if it happens, I would feel so blessed. If it doesn't happen, at least I tried. Right. So I would say that's like on my bucket list. Like I want to, you know, I want to be able to accomplish that one day before I leave this earth. So yeah, that's on my bucket list.
I got you. Winning the Grammy, man.
Yeah.
That's
Even nominated. Like really, if even a Grammy nomination, like I would be so grateful.
yeah. Just having your name up there would be something special.
That's a huge accomplishment, and it takes a lot of work. You know, it takes a lot of work. So you know, if I were ever to accomplish that, I would be like, yay! You know, I was able to finally accomplish it.
So when you are nominated, what would be the next thing? What's that next level of let's say you got it and you know you were there. What would be the next goal that keeps you pushing?
Win one.
What's that?
I would want to win one. I would love to win a Grammy Award.
I got you.
That would be the next
thing. Well, outside of music, is there anything on your bucket list?
Yeah, I definitely want to meet Quincy Jones or visit Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
Yeah, I know it's like a secluded island. I know like there's barely anybody there, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love water. I love the islands. I just feel like I would love to spend like a week at Bora Bora and just chill out, you know, because it's a place of peace and you can just really be in your thoughts and you know, get more rest. You know, I think it's a very beautiful place from what I've seen, and you know, definitely meeting Quincy Jones would be such a huge honor because we share the same birthday and I've always loved his music. You know, he is a musical genius, so just meeting him would be a dream come true. Because I already met Diane Warren, and so next is Quincy Jones.
I got you. Well, yeah, one of the places for me in my bucket list is the Bermuda Triangle.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
what Bermuda Triangle?
Well, for me, it's one of those places where I feel like a lot of mysterious things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of want to check it out. You know, feel that energy for myself. If it's just like, you know, something that people have talked about but not really explored. I just want to feel the energy if I get out there.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know where it is on the map. I have to look it up. But yeah, Bermuda Triangle.
It's really fascinating because of what everyone's been talking about, you know, and just to be able to experience that, you're like, wait, what is this all about? You know, it's very mysterious.
You know,
for sure.
And like people disappear going through it all the time.
Yeah, that's like a movie thing. It's like a movie.
No, for sure. I had another question that left my mind, but it's all right. We still got a bunch of numbers. Do you mind if I go hard this time?
Yeah, no, go ahead, go for it.
All right. I'm going to do number 1 hard. And is existing enough?
Wow, I really love this question because it's something that we should always ask ourselves. Existing is not enough. You know, we're here, right? We're physically here, but are we really here? You know, are we really present, you know, with our loved ones? And are we really present in our purpose and in our mission? So existing is not enough. Like, you have to be present in your purpose. You have to be living. Are you really living? Are you, you know, enjoying life? Are you making a difference? Are you accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish? Are you leaving your legacy? That's living. So just being physically here is not enough. You have to be present, present in what you do, and how you change others, like how you um and what I mean by changing others is like changing lives, you know, through
Yeah.
your purpose. So no, it's not enough. Existing is not enough. It's then you're complacent. I feel like when you're just existing, you're complacent and you're not elevating. And we're here, on this earth just for a limited amount of time. And so we have to make the best of it. Like we have to make sure that, we're giving back and we're also helping others along the way and changing lives for sure.
I got you.
So you gotta live, live, not just exist.
Yeah,
Existing is easy, but living is, that's where the journey is living.
I hear you. That's an interesting perspective, because the reason why I had come up with that question was that I think there's a lot of people out there who maybe don't know how to live, maybe don't know what their purpose is, or what their, how to be present. I think a lot of folks struggle with that too.
I have my challenges with being present because I'm always working, and work is like on my mind all the time. Especially living in the Bay Area, you know how it is.
You gotta grind. just to keep your head above water,
I know, just to survive out here, so.
Yeah, so I mean, in my mind, like, I think from my personal point of view, I think existing is enough in the sense that, like, the reason why this thought came to my mind is, like, for people, anybody who feels like they're not putting in enough, or people who don't feel like they know how to live or how to be present, I think of how we were when we were kids or when we were babies, right? Like, a baby exists and we just get hella joy out of, that kid, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, you remember just being yourself, like being you, whether you figured it out or you haven't figured it out, that someone out there is looking at you and being like, yo, yeah, I'm glad they're around, or I'm glad they're alive. And in that sense, yeah. I mean, that's just my point of view. But I definitely see yours as well. Like, what are you contributing is like another.
Are you consuming more than you're contributing? If you're consuming more, then you got to change that. You got to contribute.
Yeah. But I guess my messaging with it, like, was, this is really just for folks who feel like they haven't figured it out, like, to continue to work to figure it out. But as you're doing that, just know that, like, I wanted to, that dude with a sign, right? I wanted to create another IG that says another guy with a sign, and my first sign would be like, remember somebody loves you, kind of thing.
Wow. That's cool.
I haven't done it yet, so I hope I can follow through with that.
Yeah, you should.
But yeah, cool. Well, no, thank you for sharing your perspective. I do think it's important. And yeah, it's all about context, right? Let's move on to another number, and I'll let you choose. Like, I want you to choose a sign, easy, medium, or hard, and I will choose a number for you.
Let's go with hard.
Okay. Number 7, hard.
Okay.
When someone is struggling with self-esteem, what's your go-to advice?
This is temporary. This is a temporary feeling, and you are very special. There's only one like you, and it's okay to feel this way, but make sure that you get out of these emotions, because there are people out there that love you, and you're very valuable, and you're gonna get through whatever you're going through, and just know that you have a purpose in this life, and you can change so many lives with your purpose, and continue to always build yourself and work on your self-love. Self-love is very, very important. We have to love ourselves, and that could be a very challenging journey, but it's important to give ourselves love too. Like, give the love that we give to others to ourselves. And don't forget that, always strive to do that, is to give more into yourself, show up for yourself, give yourself that love that you deserve, your self-love.
For sure. It sounds like that you found your purpose. For the folks out there who maybe haven't, is there like what could you tell them, or maybe introduce to them that helped you?
Yeah, so when you know that you feel alive doing your mission or your purpose, and it's something that you look forward to, you found your purpose. Like, I look forward to singing, I look forward to teaching, I look forward to creating, and it's something that wakes me up. It's something that I think about before I go to bed. Like, you found your purpose. If it doesn't feel forced, if it feels like you're like, oh wow, this is me, this is me, this is what I enjoy doing, and look at all these people that I'm helping, and look at the changes I've allowed, to take place within myself and also the people around me, and just a lot of goals achieved. Like, you found your purpose. Like, I'm still doing music after all this time, and I'm still doing music, still teaching, after all this time. Like, I found my purpose. It's music and teaching, music teaching. So don't try to force it. Sometimes it might come to you at a later time in your life, but it'll get there. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever gives you that sense of joy, like, it's just so fulfilling. You can't think of anything else, right? That's your purpose.
I got you.
And don't define your purpose through somebody else's lens. Like, you have to know that within yourself. Everybody's path is different in life, so we can't compare our path to the next person's path, because the purpose that we have is different from the other person. It could be in the same kind of field, like, say, music, or it could be writing or making movies, but every singer, every director, every writer is different. Everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different purpose. So just focus on your purpose.
For sure. I don't know if you've seen the shirt or heard of the phrase, but it was like, instead of saying it's already been done, it's like you say it hasn't been done by me.
I like that. That's cool.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the brand that I saw have that on the shirt. I'm sorry. I know you're out there, and if you're listening, I want to give you credit.
That's cool.
Yeah, it hasn't been done by me. All right. Well, let's move on to the next number. I'll go back up to easy.
Okay.
And I think I will go with number 9, easy. Where is your happy place?
Oh my goodness. I would say, can it be like 2 places or just one?
No, go for it. Give me both. Give me both.
Yeah, so my happy place would be on stage, singing with my band. Like, I just feel like I'm myself, and I'm giving back to others through music, and just being able to create music with my band is just so fulfilling, so enriching, and it makes me really happy, and I love seeing people smile and dance and sing along, and just enjoy the moments like that. That is really one of my happy places. Gosh, I think I have 3, and then 2 would probably be recording the song. That's my happy place, like at a studio, because I'm able to record an experience and then being able to share that with the world once it's done. Like, that is my happy place. Like, I can't wait to share new music. Every time I'm done with a song and I'm about to put it out there and share it with others, like, that makes me feel so happy. And then last is like restaurants that have really good food. I'm a huge foodie, so a place that has really good entrees and appetizers and desserts, and like smoothies or whatever. Like that's like my happy place. Like I get so like caught up in food. I'm like, wow, this is just amazing. And I always tell the waitress or the waiter, I say, hey, tell the chef like much love and respect, because like this food is amazing. So I give a shout out to the chef.
Oh, I do that all the time, especially if it's really blown my mind.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god, like who cooked this? Like
yeah,
who's the
yeah.
chef?
Yo, give the chef
Oh,
my props.
yeah, because that's an art in itself too. So they took the time to create your food, and it's made with love. It's so it's special, and when it's delicious, it's like you got to give the chef or chefs props with the food.
What's the last dish that made you feel that way? Where you're like, I gotta talk to the chef right now.
Oh my gosh, I had because I've eaten so much food lately. So
Same here.
I would say I went to this Filipino restaurant, and I had like garlic rice with like the chicken barbecue on a stick. I was like, who's this? Like, who made this? I was sitting in my car, and I like completely ate the whole thing. Like I couldn't, like, I just devoured it. I'm like, this is so delicious. And I felt so happy. And I had like halo, and some ube halaya on the side. And I would put the ube halaya on the halo. I'm like, man, who cooked this? That's so good. Yeah, I would say, yeah, that was like one of my happiest moments.
Do you remember the name to give him a shout out?
Yeah, Papaya Grill. I always go
Papaya
there.
Grill.
They know me. They know my first name. No, Tracy.
That's what's up. I mean, I don't think I have a place like that yet, but that's part of the community, right? You go to a place often enough, they know you, you know them.
So good. Because I was
Beautiful
like,
thing.
yeah. I was like, hey, it's me, Tracy. She's like, yeah, I know you. Like, oh, because I always call and get to go, and so like the owner knows me now because I've gone there like more than 10, 15 times.
That's dope.
And
That's dope.
I love their food. Yeah, absolutely. It was so good.
And you helped me remember the brand of the clothing brand that had that quote. Shout out to Empire in the Air.
Nice.
I think they're from San Jose, so
Awesome.
keep it local. And you had mentioned the studio being a happy place. I can attest to that. That's also been my happy place too. And I think for any aspiring artist or vocalist, someone who just wants to make music, get in the studio if you haven't, because it feels right sometimes. It just feels like this is where I need to be to be productive, to be happy. So I don't know for you, but for me, like, being in the booth with the mic and just either my lyrics and the beat, it's exciting. It's like, and I don't know how many times you have to record your songs, but I know for me, I never spent enough time doing it. Like, it always felt rushed because I was paying for it out of pocket, and like I could never.
I understand studio time. Ooh, it goes up. Yeah, it gets expensive.
It does,
Yeah.
but I can totally see why like professional artists probably have better songs or like better quality, is because they spend so much time in the studio.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time.
And they can try every sound out, they can try every delivery, and like for regular folk. And yeah, for us it's just like, man, we gotta get it in one take or else it's
or else
yeah another $50, whatever.
Yeah. It's expensive.
Well, just a reminder, Tracy, we got 10 minutes left in the podcast. Whoa. And I hope you've been having fun. It's been a great conversation, man.
Yeah, this is really fun. Thank you so much.
I'm glad. Well, before we get to the closeout questions, let's do one more number. And
okay, sure. Okay.
Let's go to where we began in the medium section. And let's see. Let's go medium number 30.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's all good. It's all good. It is, what does self-love mean to you?
Oh, wow. Good closeout question. Self-love is accepting yourself, accepting yourself in a way where you know who you are, and you know what you've accomplished, and you know where you're going, and you know the areas that you need to improve, and you know your influence. And I feel like self-love is, you know, accepting the good and the not so good about yourself, and learning how to love yourself. I feel like sometimes it's hard to really like fully love ourselves, because like we know ourselves, right? We know our flaws, right? So that could be a challenge. However, it's important to build that self-love. It's like, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, I know what I will not stand for. I know what is right, you know, I know what is wrong. um, and I know my influence. I know what I can do to help others. I know what I can do to help myself and help, you know, better myself, help better those around me. You know, self love is taking care of yourself, even though, like, you know, tough times, you know, come and go, like, you know how to take care of yourself in those situations. Like, you know, not to like fully be so hard on yourself, because sometimes we could be highly critical of ourselves, especially if we're like perfectionists or if we're overachievers. um, it's hard to be gentle with ourselves, right? So I would feel like self-love, for me, is accepting, also really competing with yourself is, for me, self-love, because it's like you're trying to make yourself better, so you're kind of trying to outdo yourself every single time. I feel like that's growth. Self-love equals self-growth. And knowing to give yourself like a break. Like, sometimes we overwork and, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to accomplish this, I want to, you know, accomplish that. But like taking the time, like, to take care of your health, like getting rest, and taking days off, taking a vacation, you know, spending more time with your family, things like that. Like, that's also self-love, because you're nurturing yourself and you're nurturing those around you.
I got you.
You're building yourself. You're building yourself. You know, when you build yourself, you build other people. Like, when you're empty, then you can't pour into yourself. You cannot pour into others. So you got to pour into yourself.
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It is definitely important to, because how can you really love other people if you don't love yourself, right?
You cannot love you cannot love other people if you don't love yourself. And when you're coming from a hurt place, you know, then it is, you know, inevitable that you will hurt others, because, you know, they always say hurt people, right? So it's so important to heal yourself, so that whatever love you're radiating is healing, not hurting, right? So definitely, you know, continue to always work on self-love. Like, that's so important. One of the most important relationships is the one that you have with yourself, because that spills into all of your other relationships, whether personal, whether professional. It doesn't matter. Like, how you love yourself, how you see yourself, that will be reflected.
I gotcha. Well, we made it to the closeout portion of the podcast. Before we go there, I like to do this exercise called the 34th mantra with my guests. I have 3 phrases for you that I'd like you to fill in the blank. The first one is I am blank.
I am a voice.
I like it. Second one is I can
achieve whatever my heart desires.
And the last one is I will
conquer all my goals.
For sure. And if you ever need a reminder, you got this little sound bite for you to remember. You're telling yourself this. So, make sure to put in your documentary one day, you know. All right. Well, we made it to the final stretch of the podcast. My next question for you is from my previous guest. Shout out to Dr. St. Roseman. Her question for you is, how can we make the world a better place?
Wow, that's a really beautiful question. Love more. You know, give each other grace, and just be patient with each other. Learn how to understand each other, and be open to hearing stories, and just be, open-hearted. Just don't close your heart. Like, love more. I would say just really love more. That's so important. I feel like when we give love to others, then that person will feel love, and that person will, love somebody else, and it becomes a amazing domino effect. So definitely, like with this, with this whole entire situation with the pandemic, and we're still going through a lot of changes and struggles. Love each other more and give each other more grace.
I feel you. I mean, I wish
more compassion, be compassionate. Like, you never know what people are going through.
Yeah. No, I wish we could get everybody on the same page about that. I feel like that's the biggest hurdle.
You really have to love more. And, if somebody that you see that you don't know, if they're not in a not so good mood, like, just, be patient with them. Be patient with them, because you don't know what they're going through.
I hear you. A shameless plug. I've done this a lot on the show because it's one of my favorite shows. But have you seen Ted Lasso?
No, not yet. No.
Okay. If you ever get a chance, I highly recommend it. It's sort of what you're saying as far as like understanding people where they are and kind of giving that energy out there. But yeah. Next question, my second to last question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on to 34 Questions?
Oh, this is nice. If you had the opportunity to make changes in history, what would it be? And why?
Okay. Opportunity to make changes in history. I'm just writing it down, sorry.
Why? And also, in addition to that, what kind of effect would that have if those changes in history were made?
I know it's
what kind of outcome? What kind of outcome would? How do I say that? Gosh, it's on the like I had it in my head. Oh, what would the results be if those changes were made in history? Like, what is the cause and what is the effect?
Oh, I got you.
Changes, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you mine, and I gotta think more about the next part. But for me, I would have to say that I would like to go at the point in history where the first person, maybe not the first person, I don't know if it happened all at one time or in different places, but first time somebody was like, I'm better than that other person. And kind of talk to them about that and be like,
hey, no, we're equal. We're equal.
Where you get that idea from,
We're all, we all have, talents. We all have different skills. We're all valuable, we're all loved. Yeah. That would be a good point in history.
Honestly, I don't know what point that would be. Is that all the way back to the cavemen when they're like, yo, somebody had fire.
The very, very beginning of time.
Like, one person had fire, the other person didn't. So were they like, I'm better than you because I got it,
Fire,
Yeah. But right. I like it. We'll see what the next person has to say about it.
Let's see what they say.
And then my last question for you, the question that ties everything together. 100 years from now, your great grandchildren or descendants are watching this. What would you like to say to them?
I would like to say that I love you dearly and I'm very proud of you, and thank you for keeping our family's legacy alive, and continue to strive for the best in yourselves and to always build and help your community and always show love and compassion towards others.
For sure.
And just be yourself. Have fun.
You think they're going to be singers?
I hope. Like, I hope one of my future great grandkid or my kids are, musician or singer, and it just gets passed down. I think that would be so wonderful to see.
I feel you. I feel you.
Mhm.
Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I just wanted to send much love and prayers to everybody out there, and stay encouraged. We're gonna get through this whole situation because we are very resilient.
We're in it together. We're in it together for sure.
Yes, we are.
Uh, well, I'd like to thank you again, Tracy, for stopping by. Sharing your story, sharing your
Thank you
perspective.
so
I
much.
definitely appreciate it. And I want to thank all the folks out there. If you listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching on YouTube, I want to thank you as well. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace.